Hey friends, what's up? Phillip here, and I just had something really weird happen. I actually liked the experience I had with Citi's customer service. So I want to talk about it a little bit, but before I do, I'd like to go ahead and ask you guys to like and subscribe to my channel. I really love sharing these videos and sharing my experience with you guys, and I'd love it to know if you guys like it too, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm and it makes the world go around. So, but now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get back into Citibank and what just happened. So I was scrolling a couple weeks ago at on TikTok Shop, and you know those cool looking, fancy looking tennis shoes that look like Oxfords that everyone's buying on TikTok. So I decided to pull the trigger and actually buy some of those. And first of all, they weren't the size they were supposed to be. They didn't fit. It didn't work. They kind of sucked, honestly. Like think about Hey Dudes, but lower quality. I was like, okay, let's try and return these things. And so I went to the website, went to the order, looked at my order, and there literally was not a way to make a return or to start a return. And so I was like, okay, what's going on? They did find there was a customer service email. So I sent one email, waited a day, didn't hear back, sent another email, waited a day, didn't hear back. And so once it happened, I was like, okay, well, I have shoes that I'm never going to use because they're terrible quality and they're not even the right size, so they don't fit me. And there's literally nothing I can do about it. So I actually accidentally put this on the Citi card. I didn't intend to, but I actually got mistaken about which card I was actually using. But it was on the Citi card. And I was like, I've heard some really terrible things about Citi customer service. So I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I still got to try, right? Because, you know, 80 bucks is 80 bucks. And so I went through and I tried, I messaged them about what was going on. So I tried to initiate a dispute online. I had to go to the messaging. And so I messaged them and I was like, hey, this is what happened. I bought these shoes. They don't fit. I tried to do this thing about it. The vendor doesn't have a way to initiate return, and I sent 2 emails on this date and this date. And so they went ahead and started the dispute process on that particular charge. And so they provided an immediate statement credit on the account, and which was actually interesting because that was the only thing I spent on for that month. So that and the statement had already closed, and so that was the statement balance. It was that thing, and so that cleared that out, which was nice. And so I was kind of like, okay, well, they have until April to respond about the dispute. The vendor does, and then kind of go from there. And so, but the thing that's interesting to me here is that they have sent me update emails at least once a week about any progress that's happened on this dispute. And so that's something that's really interesting because you kind of hear not really sure what's going on. There's not really a way to track it in the app, but the fact that they had emails once a week that were just saying, we haven't heard back from the vendor yet. They have until this date to respond. If they don't respond by that date, then the dispute is considered closed. And so there hasn't really been any other side of that dispute. I mean, presumably if they don't have enough time to answer their email to start a return, they probably don't have enough time to answer their email to discuss the dispute. But, so I was very surprised. So this actually kind of went really, really well in my favor, but it actually seems weird because with this weekly email bit, it seems like they're almost more in touch with the customer than American Express was. So my wife purchased something on Temu or something, or TikTok Shop, I forgot exactly what it was. And basically, first of all, months and months, and nothing happened. And then eventually I think it showed up and it was just, again, not even remotely close to the size that was ordered, stuff like that. Buying on those properties or buying on those stores kind of carries a little bit of risk, right? But we initiated a return that was on our American Express Gold card. I did it in the app, and I listed, we contacted them this date, we contacted them this date, things like that. But pretty much all it did was just okay, we have started the dispute. And I didn't hear anything and didn't hear anything and didn't hear anything for months on end. And I guess, presumably it's done. But, who knows at this point. And so, the process was kind of a weird thing that I actually had to chat with someone on the app, but with Citibank, but the fact that I was able to make sure that it actually got done, the fact that the provisional credit was immediate, the fact that they've checked in weekly, and the fact that, the deadline for the response is coming up here in the next week. And so, we'll see what actually happens. But from what I've seen, it actually seems like Citibank has a decent dispute process. Now, I'm sure that there are plenty of other data points to say the other thing, but I kind of just wanted to share the fact that Citi's customer service surprised me in a way that I wasn't expecting. And the fact that it was more comprehensive than something that American Express was doing was also very interesting, because you always hear that American Express customer service is really good. And to be fair, anytime you do actually talk to someone at American Express, they more or less know the correct answer, and they more or less are able to help you. And so it just surprised me, and I wanted to share that with you guys, because I was like, whoa, what's going on? Citibank actually doing a decent job with customer service. So anyway, that's my data point. Please go ahead and leave your experience with Citibank in the comments below if you haven't already, because I'm sure that there are some opinions about this, but I just had a positive data point that I just wanted to share with you guys. So thanks so much for joining me, and I can't wait until I see you again. But in the meantime, hope you have a great day.